What's up, everybody? My name is OMG WTF LWBRB, and now the WWE brings you SummerSlam. It is now time for SummerSlam. We are in the 4th week of June 2002. Big match feel here tonight as the WWE Championship will be on the line. It is brother versus brother. Kane versus The Undertaker. We will see an icon leave the WWE when Triple H battles Hulk Hogan. One of those two men will be having their last night here tonight in the WWE. Championships on the line. We will see the Hardcore Championship, the Tag Team Championships, the Women's Championship, and of course, the World Championship as well. So without further ado, let's just get this started. Let's get the show on the road. We got a couple of pre-show matches, of course. In fact, each pre-show match is going to be a 6-person tag team matchup. Just kind of worked out that way, to be completely honest. There's certain talent I wanted to get on the card, and then realized that by this point, there's only a few superstars who aren't actually on the card who are Monday Night Raw superstars, so might as well find places to put them in anyway. So our first opening bout of the night, and a pre-show bout that had decent wrestling, but not much weighing heat. The team of Albert, Batista, and Lou Fisto defeated Mark Jindrak, Gregory Helms, and Molly Holly in 11 minutes 38 seconds when Batista defeated Gregory Helms with the Batista Bomb. Albert was head and shoulders above everyone else despite being bald. Mark Jindrak and Bobby Heenan, good pairing as always. I don't know why I brought that up. Albert shown in this matchup. Molly Holly had an in-ring performance of a 54, actually outperforming Gregory Helms, who had a 52. Mark Jindrak with a 72. Lou Fisto with a 46. It looks like she was the worst of the match. Batista with a 47. And Albert with an 84. And Mark Jindrak made the most of this match here tonight, as he is improving in both his technical and performance skills. Alright, we move on to our next pre-show matchup, 72B- rating. Oh boy, that makes me think that the actual main event of the pre-show is not going to do as well. I knew I should have switched them around. Anyway, 72B- rating in a pre-show bout that had subpar wrestling and little heat to it. Rob Van Dam in the Afternoon Express, Kelso Courageous and Dizzy Hyde defeated Shannon Moore in the Boogie Nights, Alex Wright, Das Wunderkid, and Disco Inferno in 11 minutes 36 seconds when Rob Van Dam defeated Disco Inferno with the 5-star Frog Splash. In terms of in-ring work, of course, RVD was head and shoulders above everybody else. Shannon Moore getting better at his gimmick, good to know. Kelso Courageous with an in-ring performance of a 50. Dizzy Hyde with a 48. Looks like he might have been the worst of the match, but that's not too bad. Only 2 points below his partner. Rob Van Dam had a 77. Disco Inferno at a 58. Das Wunderkid, Alex Wright, with a 60, an impressive 60 nonetheless. And Shannon Moore with a 55. No worker improvements, but while I've got Dizzy Hyde on my mind, I wanted to go ahead and take a look at some of the what do we call them? I guess backstage things that happened pretty much outside in the world while we weren't recording. I don't know. Anyway, we did get a couple of emails, but before we get to that, AEW, All Elite Wrestling, has signed yet another talent. This time, the Insane Clown Posse's own Violent J is now All Elite. So Gerald Briscoe says, Mark Henry just doesn't get it, in my opinion, and the kid can probably be cut loose. And Rob Van Dam, this is what made me think of Dizzy Hyde, says, I like what Dizzy Hyde is doing in the ring, and the kid is only going to get better with time. So look at RVD getting a little bit of a witness? I don't know, getting a bit of a first-hand experience on how good Dizzy Hyde is, and maybe getting to scout him a little bit and maybe tell him where he can improve and give him some critique here and there, some constructive criticism, to say the least, since he seems to be a fan. Nonetheless, Team RVD gets the win here. And we move on to our main event of the pre-show. Okay, 72B-, still the same as the previous matchup, so not too bad. The reason I kind of separated them is, for one, the Flock is kind of a main event angle right now, so I felt like they deserved the main event of the pre-show at least, and I didn't want to have 2 6-people matches back-to-back that feature women in it. I know that kind of sounds a little sexist, but it's more of a, I guess, an OCD thing of mine or something. Like, I had a 6-man tag match with RVD and the Afternoon Express versus Shannon Moore and the Boogie Nights. So I guess like my OCD kicked in, and I just it looked better to have the opening match in the main event have, the mixed 6-person match with the males and the females, and then the all-male be the middle. That's kind of where I was at that. So nothing really sexist about it, just more of an, I guess, an OCD kind of thing. Anyway, 72 B- rating, and a pre-show bout that had decent wrestling but didn't have much in heat. The Flock, Raven, Vampiro, and Daphne defeated Tracy Brooklyn and the Pimp Party in 11 minutes 47 seconds when Vampiro defeated Val Venus with the nail in the coffin. Raven was head and shoulders above everybody else in this matchup. Daphne with an in-ring performance of a 55. She actually outperformed Val Venus. That's kind of embarrassing. Vampiro with an in-ring performance of a 69. Raven with an 81. Tracy Brooklyn with a 46. She was the worst performer of the match. Val Venus with a 54, and The Godfather with a 55. Either Daphne is good, or she is just that much more popular than Val Venus and The Godfather to be either outperforming them or even tying them. Worker improvements here. Val Venus is improving in his technical skills, and Tracy Brooklyn is improving in her rumble. Alright, so we open up SummerSlam with a, let's see. Oh, I thought we had a little bit of a opening hype package. I guess we didn't. Anyway, 76 B- rating. I'd like to imagine that we had a hype package, so after the hype package is over, hyping up what we will see here tonight, we are in front of 49,000 people here in the Mid-South Arena, and we open up with 6-man tag team action. Oh my god, I didn't even realize that. 4 6-man tag matches, or 6 tag team matches. I don't know, 6-person, whatever you want to call it. Either way, we had 4 of them in a row. That's kind of a bad booking on my end, but I guess it doesn't matter that much. Anyway, in a decent matchup, we open up the night with The Click, Kevin Nash, Shawn Michaels, and X-Pac defeating Bradshaw and the Angles, Kurt and Eric Angle, in 12 minutes, 10 seconds after Shawn Michaels defeated Eric Angle with the Sweet Chin music. Eric was the weak link, struggling to keep up with everyone else's in-ring performance. That is not much of a surprise at all. Eric apparently was also really off his game, as was Kevin Nash. Come on, Eric, you need to step it up. Anyway, this match did get the show off to a strong start. Crowd was hot. Kurt Angle shown in this match. Shawn Michaels came out looking good. That's awesome. Eric Angle with a 43 in-ring performance, and, well, a little bit of a spoiler here from the description as the match gave us, but Eric Angle, I'm going to go out on a limb and say he was the worst in-ring performer of the match. Kurt Angle with a 90 in-ring performance. Bradshaw with an 80. X-Pac with a 59. Shawn Michaels with an 89. And Kevin Nash with a 76. So Kurt Angle was the best performer, and his brother Eric was the worst. Lost heat for the storyline. That's a bit unfortunate, as we have a little bit of worker improvements here. Bradshaw improving in performance. 76 B- for our opening match of the night, as we move on to our next segment, which gets a solid 90 A rating, as Mr. McMahon and Eric Bischoff are walking down in the boiler room, or I don't know, the bowels of the arena, heading towards the boiler room of the arena. And that's when Eric Bischoff finally steps up and says, "Are you sure about this, Mr. McMahon?"
"Trust me, Eric. If he's anywhere, he'd be down here."
"Yeah, I don't doubt that. But are you sure we're safe coming down here?"
"Of course we are. He's on our side, right? Besides, that's why I brought the camera guy with us."
"So the world can watch our deaths live?"
No. So we could throw him down in case things go wrong. Now come on, Eric. Don't be a wussy.
That's when McMahon pushes the cage door open.
"Kane? You down here?"
And then Kane menacingly stands behind McMahon and Bischoff before scaring the crap out of Bischoff. Alright, sorry about that. Hope you guys are still here with me. Had a freaking people come inside the room, of course, and, well, you gotta love when that happens, so hopefully some of you guys skip forward. I'll try to remember to put a note up there to let you guys know, skip forward a little bit to get past the quietness, since people just have to come in when I'm recording. Anyway, though, where were we? Kane menacingly standing behind McMahon and Bischoff, scaring the crap out of Eric Bischoff. So just kind of imagine one of those like horror scenes where the lights are all dim, maybe a little bit of a red light going on because, you know, it's Kane. And we see from, you know, him just kind of like rise up behind Vince and Bischoff just like, holy crap kind of thing, you know, Jesus! And McMahon, of course, a bit amused by this.
Ha ha! You got him there. So, you ready for tonight, big guy? Did you do as I requested?
Now, mind you, remember, Kane was burned, so I don't want to do the whole, did you do as I requested, but I kind of want to sell that, you know, his vocal cords may be a little coarse from being burned and all that. Eric Bischoff then steps up. Yeah, about that. Look, Kane, we tried, but the networks wouldn't give the okay on the Inferno match, so unfortunately, it's just going to be a normal one-on-one between you and Taker tonight. And that's when Kane grabs both Mr. McMahon and Eric Bischoff by the throats, pushes them up against the wall, gets real close to them.
Well, with all due respect to the networks, but whether they like it or not, my brother will taste the flames tonight. Now get out!
Kane tosses McMahon and Bischoff to the side. McMahon and Bischoff rush out of the little boiler room area. And, of course, Mr. McMahon tosses the cameraman to the ground behind him as him and Bischoff make their escape. And we can hear McMahon kind of in the distance.
I told you the camera guy would come in handy, Eric.
So, it looks like, again, apologies for the silence there. I wish there's a way that I could just kind of pause, but unfortunately I am using OBS Studios to record, and there's no pause mode. Excuse me. But either way, Vince McMahon and Eric Bischoff, kind of a little bit of a last-minute hype for Kane, as Kane is going to be facing the Undertaker for the WWE Championship here tonight. Kane had requested it for it to be an Inferno match because Taker and the Flock set Kane on fire, but unfortunately, and this is not a shoot, I was not actually able to do an Inferno match. I wanted to. I really did actually want to do an Inferno match. I believe it was J Sports, our Japanese pay-per-view providers, who said that they would not host an Inferno match. And I was going to try to dumb down the Inferno match, make the content risk a little less. That way we could still get by with doing it, but unfortunately, in order for a match to have fire, it has to have, I believe it was, very high content risk or something like that. And, well, if it was going to have that content risk, we can't do the dang match. So, unfortunately, no Inferno match. That kind of sucks. Anyway, Vince McMahon did a masterful job in improvising interaction with the crowd. Eric Bischoff worked it well. Crowd was hot. Kane looked good. Gained heat for the storyline. Let us move on to our next matchup, which will be for the WWE Tag Team Championships. It is Damnation versus the Dudley Boys, and we got a little bit of a video package here going over the feud. Of course, just kind of highlighting the rise of Damnation as a team, showcasing Ron Simmons bringing in Rodney Mack, Jazz, Jacqueline all together to form Damnation, and showcasing their rise up to where they are now, challenging for the tag titles, and also highlighting Simmons trying to steal Devon from the Dudley Boys and bring him over to Damnation, and even kind of highlighting Devon's father's passing and the whole scene with him and Simmons at his father's church and all that. So anyway, this did lose heat for the storyline, which is a bit unfortunate, but we go on to the tag team matchup here. For the WWE Tag Team Championships, 78 solid B rating here and a decent matchup. Damnation defeat the Dudley Boys in 13 minutes, 41 seconds when Ron Simmons defeated Bubba Ray Dudley with the Dominator following a turn by Devon Dudley. So Devon Dudley has turned heel. He has turned his back on the Dudley Boys and has joined up with Damnation. And one has to assume that this has something to do with his father's passing, but I'm sure we will find out more as we go along. Anyway, Damnation win the WWE Tag Team titles for the first time in their career. Rodney Mack was the weak link, struggling to keep up with everyone else's in-ring performance. Ron Simmons and Jacqueline are a good pairing, as always. That's good to hear. Pretty vocal crowd didn't seem particularly thrilled with seeing Rodney Mack wrestle. That is unfortunate because we are still going to try to shove him down their throats. Bubba Ray and Devon, of course, have excellent chemistry, but after tonight, we will see if they will be teaming together much longer. Rodney Mack with an in-ring performance of a 43, the worst performer of the match. Ron Simmons with a 75, Devon Dudley with an 87, and Bubba Ray Dudley with a 92, the best performer of the matchup. And we can go ahead and complete the gimmick change for Devon Dudley. Hold on, wait, not yet. We not gimmick change, complete the turn. That's what I meant to do. So Devon Dudley has now switched to his priest gimmick, and he has gotten a very good rating for it. Awesome. And the turn was a complete success. I'm sure you all see where we're going with this. Anyway, we move on to our next segment here as we send it back to Jonathan Coachman, who is being joined by Jacqueline and Jazz, which I'm not exactly sure how he's being joined by Jacqueline because wasn't she just down there with Ron Simmons? Anyway, let's send it back to Jonathan Coachman. Well, congratulations to the new WWE Tag Team Champions, Rodney Mack and Ron Simmons, Damnation. And speaking of Damnation, joining me now are the ladies of the group, Jacqueline and Jazz. Well, thank you for having us. And yes, congrats to my boys. And a big welcome to the newest member of the group, the Reverend himself, Devon Dudley. Yes, shock to us all. But let's change the subject real quick because you two also have the opportunity to walk away with the championship. But unfortunately, it won't be as a team because you two will be against each other in a fatal four-way match against Trish Stratus and Lita, and that will be over the WWE Women's Championship. How is that going to affect your relationship? It's not, Coach. Plain and simple. Jazz and I are on the same page, and when it comes time to it, Jazz will know what to do. Now, if you'll excuse us, Cole. Jackie walks off, but Jazz kind of hangs by for a little bit, looks over at Coach. When it comes time to it, Coach, I will know what to do. All right, that lost a little bit of a heat for the Dudley Boys storyline. Okay. But anything else? Everything else is pretty good. 61 solid C rating for that as we see backstage Stone Cold Steve Austin in his locker room just warming up for his #1 contendership matchup tonight against Goldberg and Rhino, which will be a triple threat match. 75 B- rating for that. And then we get a video package for our next matchup, which is between Matt and Jeff Hardy, and it'll be a ladder match for the Hardcore Championship. So I'd imagine in this video package just kind of highlighting the history of the Hardy Boys, showing them come up together as a team, maybe even showing some family pictures and videos of them growing up together, because they are real-life brothers. And then just kind of showing Matt Hardy getting jealous over Jeff's success, Jeff's popularity and such, before finally turning into the Matt Hardy that we know today. 71 B- rating for that. As we move on to the matchup, it is a ladder match for the Hardcore Championship. 73 B- rating and a decent matchup. Matt Hardy defeats Jeff Hardy in 12 minutes 43 seconds when Matt Hardy retrieves the Hardcore Championship from the ladder. Shannon Moore and Rob Van Dam, of course, came in and they played their part, kind of. I'd imagine maybe Shannon coming in at first, preventing Jeff from getting the championship, which led to Rob Van Dam coming down and fighting off Shannon Moore to the back, leading to Jeff and Matt up there, and then maybe even Matt Hardy pushing Jeff Hardy off the ladder. Either way, I did have Jeff Hardy take a crazy bump in this match. I'd imagine that maybe Matt is set up on a bunch of tables or something. Jeff goes for a swanton bomb. Shannon Moore down and then comes back out, pulls Matt Hardy off the tables or such, and Jeff Hardy goes all the way through them. And, despite RVD trying to wake Jeff Hardy back up, Matt Hardy, he's knocked out, which allows Matt Hardy to climb the ladder and retrieve the briefcase, or not the briefcase, but the championship. Anyway, Matt Hardy seemed off his game tonight, but he is getting better at his gimmick. Jeff Hardy did take that crazy bump. Thank you, Jeff. Matt with an in-ring performance of a 72, Jeff with a 77. Matt Hardy's improving in his performance as well. Good to know. And we move on to our next segment, which gets a 72 B- rating here. This is a freestyle segment, so I'm just going to go ahead and lay it down here. We got Matt and Shannon Moore celebrating out there together when the Sandman comes running through the crowd. He appears into the ring. Shannon Moore gets clocked in the head with that kendo stick. Matt Hardy is shocked. Sandman and Matt Hardy kind of have a stare down. Matt Hardy's looks kind of pissed. Sandman has a smirk on his face. Matt rushes after him. Sandman just hits him in the gut with that kendo stick and just breaks it over his back, like literally just repeatedly over and over and over until his kendo stick just snaps. And then finally, Sandman, seizing his opportunity, climbs the ladder, drops a leg right across the throat of Matt Hardy. 1, 2, 3. Sandman is the new hardcore champion. All right. 75 B- rating as we send it backstage to Michael Cole. Ladies and gentlemen, joining me at this time, Triple H and the Click.
Here's how it's going to work, Cole. Hold the mic and shut up. Tonight's the night, Hogan. We all saw you on Sunday Night Heat earlier tonight making promises you can't keep, but that doesn't matter because tonight is the night. It doesn't matter that your family's in attendance or that this was supposed to be your big return tour because tonight is the night. The night that in front of all your Hulkamaniacs, I expose you for the sham that you are once and for all. Tonight, I kill Hulkamania. If anything, I'm doing everyone a favor. Because after tonight, there'll be no more politics. No more that doesn't work for me, brother. No more Hulk Hogan.
All right, well, Triple H means business tonight. He is claiming that he is going to kill Hulkamania. Someone's going to die tonight. Will it be... Well, okay, no one's going to die tonight, but someone's going to lose their job tonight. Will it be Hulk Hogan or will it be the Game? Solid 90 A rating here as we get another video package, this time hyping up our #1 contendership match between Rhino, Goldberg, and Stone Cold Steve Austin. So this video package, I'd imagine, kind of just going over the history of, first off, Austin and Rhino's mentorship and protege partnership that they had going on, and then Goldberg making his WWE debut, going on to defeat Stone Cold at WrestleMania, maybe even highlighting the Royal Rumble little interaction that they had with Goldberg eliminating Austin, and then Austin going back in there and getting rid of Goldberg. But then we have, of course, Austin losing at Mania, hyping up Rhino, showing that Rhino wants to take it to Goldberg, and then, of course, that leading to the contract signing, and then Stone Cold making his return and such. So kind of just highlighting the overall story of all three men here tonight. Gained heat for the storyline. That's the first video package to do that. You love to see it. Before we can get to the matchup, though, Goldberg gets an epic entrance, a 76 B-, which that's a bit unfortunate. But anyway, this is kind of a special, like, orchestra or orchestral. I don't know exactly how you would say that entrance. I'd imagine we have a nice orchestra out there kind of playing Goldberg's theme. If any of you guys have watched or watch OSW reviews, one of their more recent episodes where they're covering the Warrior arc right now when he was in WCW, they had a kind of like an orchestra theme playing for Goldberg at one point, and it was so epic. You guys should look it up too. Like literally just YouTube Goldberg or type in like Bill Goldberg at least or something, like orchestra theme or something. It's epic, and that's kind of what I imagine playing here. It's kind of what gave me the idea, like an orchestra playing Goldberg out, and it's kind of like this big epic moment for Goldberg. 76 B- rating for that as we head into our triple threat matchup. Ooh, well, it's about what you'd expect for a Goldberg match, to be completely honest here. Anyway, 81 solid B rating here, and about that had sensational wrestling and fantastic heat. Goldberg defeats Stone Cold Steve Austin and Rhino in 14 minutes, 12 seconds when Goldberg defeated Stone Cold with the spear. So the way I'd like to imagine this going down here is pretty much towards the end of the match, Austin hits the Stone Cold Stunner on Rhino, but before he can get the pin on Rhino, Goldberg comes in, hits the spear on Austin, 1, 2, 3, picks up the win, and he's like the #1 contender. The reason I wanted Austin to take the fall because, for one, not that he is like on the downfall. I don't believe he appears in our creative meeting as on a time decline, but he is, or around this time, probably should be finishing up, so he's super popular. He can afford to be, take a loss. Losing to Goldberg is nothing. I didn't want Rhino to take the loss because I'm trying to build Rhino up. So Austin was just the right guy to take the loss here. We'll most likely move on to Austin and Rhino feuding each other, and of course Goldberg is going to get his title shot. And of course, this is the big problem here. Not enough selling shown here. Most likely Goldberg's fault. I don't really blame Austin and Rhino. That doesn't pop up in their matches very often. And just look at this right here. This is a perfect example on just how much that kind of affects. We're going to have to take a dip in the dirt sheet because we look at their in-ring performances here. Like Stone Cold had a 99. Rhino had a 90. Goldberg had a 98. All three of them had an overall of an A to maybe even an A star in-ring performance. And we only got an 81 B rating for this. So we're going to have to go ahead, take a look in the dirt sheet, see exactly what negatives this match got. So, so far, nothing yet. Lack of selling.
Sorry.
And then apparently short match length. Well, I can agree with that. It was only 14 minutes long, but at the same time, and you'll never get an A-star rating unless it goes over 20 minutes anyway. So, but I just don't trust Goldberg's stamina, and it doesn't show me his stamina yet. Like, I don't know enough about him, I guess, in the game to know if he can go long. And we know in real life he can't go that long, so I'm a little worried about trying to push him. Anyway, not too bad. About what I expected. Again, without it going 20 minutes, it's never really going to get like an A rating, at least from what I understand. Bit disappointing for it to be a solid B. Wouldn't have minded maybe a B plus, maybe even like a little just a A or whatever. Because I think you can't get an A star. I still think you can get A matches. Anyway, next segment. Just a little bit of a cool down segment here. 53 C- rating as JR and Jerry the King Lawler play clip sent in by the Dojo. So Steve Blackman starts. You two did great this past Monday. But let's be honest. While those men you two fought were fighters, they were not warriors. That's when Hayashi steps up, or I guess misspeaks is how you could put it. I wouldn't call them fighters either, Master Blackman. They weren't much of a challenge at all. Below a white belt at best. That's when Tajiri laughs in the background, but Blackman's not having any of it. That's enough. White belt or not, you must respect your opponents. They went in prepared to fight, as did you. And while things may have not went the way that they had hoped, I'm sure they walked away with a lesson. And that is what will make them into warriors one day. Now, my dojo, we train for the future. And to the teams of Monday Night Raw, let this montage be a message to you. And then we just get kind of like a little cheesy karate montage playing here. Maybe not exactly cheesy, because I would like it to actually showcase the skills of Hayashi and Tajiri, showcasing them as actual like karate masters in a way. Not like, oh, hua, yeah, like cheesy stuff going on, but just a little karate montage playing as showcasing the skills of the dojo. Moving on to our next segment here, we get a video package hyping up our next matchup, arguably the main event of the evening. It is loser leaves the WWE. In a street fight, it'll be Triple H representing the Clique, taking on Hulk Hogan. So, man, this video package is kind of probably maybe highlighting a lot of things, I would say, actually, now that I think about it. You can go all the way back to the 90s, highlighting the birth of the Clique in a way with Hall, Nash, Triple H, and Michaels. I don't know why I was forgetting who that was. You can also throw an X-Pac there. Technically, he was a part of the Clique at the time as well. Kind of highlight that, do the whole Madison Square Garden incident where they hugged each other. Then you could play off of the whole NWO and DX thing, building up that the whole time they're technically working together, trying to take over the wrestling world per se.
Then we can build up to the not the Triple H, the NWO versus DX match at Mania, which led to Nash and Hall betraying Hulk Hogan and officially forming the Clique. Then you can have Hogan taking out Scott Hall at the club, going to another club and crashing the party and fighting the Clique there, leading to him forming his own team, just highlighting a lot of things that happened here. And then leading to Stephanie McMahon leaving the WWE, Triple H blaming Hulk Hogan for that, and then, of course, having our moment here where it is loser leaves the WWE, Triple H versus Hulk Hogan. And I'm sure a lot of you know already the result of this one because we already have All Elite Wrestling out there. But anyway, another match with a solid 81B. Again, would have preferred a B+, maybe even an A, but the selling really takes it down, it seems like. Whenever there's not enough selling shown, which I blame Hulk Hogan for this one, because Triple H, he knows how to sell, so Hulk Hogan is definitely the blame here, along with Goldberg as well. But, yeah, the selling definitely seems to bring it down a lot. So we have an exceptional matchup here. Hulk Hogan defeats Triple H in 15 minutes, 3 seconds with a big leg drop. Again, not enough selling shown here, and that definitely brought it down because, again, both competitors had overall A-rated in-ring performances, with Triple H with a 95 and Hulk Hogan with a 91. Again, time definitely has a problem here. It was only 15 minutes long, but because it being a street fight, I kind of wanted them to go all out, and because the all-out rating, they cannot go over 15 minutes, unfortunately. In hindsight, retrospect, maybe I should have just kind of said, let's have a slow build and make it, that way they can build up to it. But either way, it's okay. Hulk Hogan improving in his performance skills, good for him. Let's go ahead and take a look at the dirt sheet as well. Okay, no, he was well suited to the match. Never mind. So that's a plus. Let's go ahead and see what our negatives were. Triple H penalized for not dealing with the pressure of trying to go all out. Okay. Hulk Hogan was penalized for stamina. I wonder if that's because he went all out or if it's just because he can't go that long. Lack of selling and short match length. We knew that. Oh, of course, the low storyline heat. That's unfortunate. Okay. Apparently the storyline wasn't hot either. Anyway. Moving on. We go to an 88B+ rating. Another freestyle segment here. Aptly named the whole na-na-na-na, hey, goodbye thing, as Triple H is refusing to go. The crowd, of course, all singing the na-na-na-na to him. The Clique comes out, though, not going to let Triple H go that easily, which leads, of course, to Team Hogan coming out here, Bradshaw and the Angles. We have a little bit of a fight between all 8 men here, which eventually leads to Bradshaw and the Angles chasing Triple H, it was not Triple H, Nash, Michaels, and X-Pac to the back, and then Hogan kind of taking it to Triple H, which allows the security team to get a hold of him and take Triple H out of the arena. Kevin Nash was good. X-Pac performed poorly. That's unfortunate for him. Hulk Hogan was fantastic. Kurt Angle was fantastic. Eric Angle did not come out looking good. Gained heat for the storylines, though. Love to see it. No worker improvements. As we move on to our next segment here, 76B- as we send it backstage to Jonathan Coachman. Ladies and gentlemen, joining me at this time, Bubba Ray Dudley. Bubba, it's been a rough night. Not only did you lose the WWE Tag Team titles, but your own brother, Devon, turned his back on you. I know things are tough, but is there any chance we can hear what's on your mind? You want to know what's on my mind? What do you think is on my mind? Let me ask you a question, Coach. Have you ever felt heartbreak? Never mind, of course you have. Look at you. Well, this is the worst case of heartbreak that I've ever had. My own family has turned his back on me and joined the group of militants. I feel like I failed not only as a partner, but as a brother. And, oh, never mind. I thought that was the end of the segment. We still have some more to go. Jonathan Coachman continues. Well, what will you do now? Coach, I don't know. Bubba walks off, leaving Coach there, leaving us all to wonder what's next for Bubba Ray Dudley after Devon Dudley stabbed him in the back. Moving on to our next segment here, it's Women's what the hell was I about to say there? It's women's action now. I think I was about to say titles and action together, like taction. Anyway, 62, solid C rating here for this matchup, and about that had decent wrestling, but not much weighing heat. Trish Stratus retains the Women's Championship after defeating Jacqueline, Lita, and Jazz in 11 minutes 38 seconds when she defeated Jacqueline with the Stratus faction. Trish makes her 4th defense of the Women's Championship. So the way I'd like to imagine this one going down is Jazz maybe hits Lita with, I don't know exactly what Jazz's finisher is, but whatever Jazz's finish is, hits Lita with it. Looks like Jazz is about to pick up the victory. Jacqueline takes Jazz out, tosses her out of the ring, goes for the pin herself, but unfortunately Trish Stratus has recovered by now, and she hits Stratus faction. 1, 2, 3, retains the title. Jazz had an in-ring performance of a 53. Jacqueline with a 56, so it looks like Jazz was the worst in-ring performer of the match, but she's getting up there. Lita with a 61 and Trish Stratus with a 67. Lita and Trish are just damn good. In fact, a lot of the women are starting to get pretty good. I'm not going to lie. I'm very proud of some of the booking. We are able to get the women over. Getting women over in TEW, again, not trying to sound sexist here, but getting the women over in this game, extremely hard for some reason. Jacqueline is improving in her performance skills. Lita is improving in her technical skills. And Jazz is improving in both her technical and performance skills. So the young Jazz making the most of her appearance here tonight. We move on to our next segment, 87 B+ rating as security continues to escort Triple H out of the arena. The game fights back, but as they approach the doors, Triple H grabs onto the wall, and he spots the Clique standing there, hoping that they're going to help him. He screams out for them, "Guys, you gotta get him off of me." But unfortunately for Triple H, it looks like the Clique had other things in mind as not Triple H, but Shawn Michaels cocks back, hits the super kick on Triple H, causing him to let go of the door and officially be taken out of the WWE for good. That allows Kevin Nash to lean in. Great. Now what do we do? Michaels smiles as he brushes himself off. Now it's time for Plan B. And God knows what Plan B is. Kevin Nash was good. X-Pac did not come out looking good. We need to get that popularity up there, Pac. Nash is developing better performance. X-Pac learning to show more charisma. So at least he's learning something. All right, it is about time for the main event. But before we can get to that, we got one last video package, not a last-minute video package. 90 solid A rating for this, as we have the video package for Kane versus The Undertaker. Probably just highlighting the history of Kane and The Undertaker, not only as brothers, but the kayfabe history as well of the Kane, burning his family alive along with The Undertaker, presumably. Or was it No, I think it's the other way around. The Undertaker burned I don't freaking remember. One of them burned their family. I think it might have been The Undertaker, and Kane was supposed to be in that fire, but he wasn't. Or maybe it was revealed that Kane was, and I'm just remembering things wrong. Who knows? Either way, we kind of go over the kayfabe history of the Brothers of Destruction, leading up to them becoming a bit more humanized when they were, Biker Taker and Kane, where his mask has a hole in it where he can talk. And then Vince McMahon wanting the old Undertaker back, Taker now being more of the Demon Taker, or I guess the Devil's favorite demon, and Kane trying to get his brother back, which of course led to the Undertaker and the Flock forming together, lighting Kane on fire, and now Kane, completely covered up from his injuries, is ready to just bury the hatchet with the Undertaker, no longer saving his brother, just looking to let his brother rest in peace finally. Gained heat for the storyline, no worker improvements, why would there be? Main event time. It is for the WWE Championship. Thank God this was the main event. I really contemplating putting Hogan and Triple H as the main event, but seeing that got a B rating and then this got an A rating, I'm glad I made the right decision. 93, solid A rating here, and an exceptional matchup. The Undertaker defeats Kane in 17 minutes 55 seconds with the last ride. Of course, after a bit of distraction from Daphne here, we also saw Vampiro and Raven come in and attack Kane, but Kane was able to fight them off, but it was ultimately Daphne's distraction that allowed The Undertaker to get Kane into that last ride. I'd like to imagine more of a tombstone, but whatever, and make his 4th defense of the WWE Heavyweight Championship. But not only that, granted, we'll see it in the next angle here because this was not a title versus mask match, but we'll see the note there. A little bit of a spoiler for things to come, but Kane has officially lost his mask as well. He has been unmasked by The Undertaker and the Flock, but we will see that next. Either way, Kane had an in-ring performance of an 84. The Undertaker with a 98. No worker improvements here as we end off the show with a 92. Solid A rating here as The Undertaker and the Flock unmask Kane in front of everybody, showing his face to the world, and then burning his mask in the middle of the ring in front of him. So something was lit on fire at least, as The Undertaker and the Flock stand tall. Kane lays there next to his burning mask, unconscious. Undertaker came out looking excellent. No worker improvements here. As we end off the show, we get ourselves a 90 solid A rating, increasing our popularity in 6 regions. All in all, not too shabby. Pretty damn good show, I think so. We are going to, I'm not going to make the speech here because that'll, of course, end off. But we are going to compliment both The Undertaker and Kane on good performances. And I am also going to give Triple H a hug goodbye. And that is what we are going to do for the night. In fact, let's go ahead and make the speech. We just won't press close on the last one. Undertaker seemed pleased, Kane seemed pleased, and Triple H seemed pleased. Alright, well that's going to be the end of this video. I hope you guys have enjoyed. If you have, do me a favor. Leave me a comment, like, subscribe if you haven't already. As always, don't forget to share this video with your friends, your Facebooks, your Twitters, your Instagrams. I don't give a dams. Anyone you feel would enjoy my content, give them a share and help your homeboy get some new subscribers up in this bitch. And as always, my name has been OMG, WTF, LOWBRB, and I will see you guys in the next video. So until then, have a great day.